do you manage to evaluate your own recording to ensure the skills that are required for MCC level coaching that you have them in your recording? What are you actually even looking for, and how do you capture those evidence? How do you learn from your recording? How do you analyze your recording to ensure good enough to be submitted for your ICF application credential? Guys, this is a topic of today, learning and growing from your recording. So today we'll take a very practical delve into the goal for this series. We want you to go for that ICF MCC credential. We want you to go and to get it. And to go and get it, it takes 2 recordings that have been approved, 2 recordings that show you can coach at masterful level. In the last 10 weeks, we've been talking about what masterful coaching means. What does that sound and look like? We took the time to talk about the various core competency, what it means, how it shows at PCC level, how you demonstrate MCC level. Now we are putting that all together and we are discussing what are some things you need to listen for all the time in general when you're preparing for your MCC. I remember it was like, what does that even sound like? How do I know? They say, learn, listen. What do you see? What do you listen for? What are you after? What do you check in your recording? So in today's session, I will share some elements, what I like to call signs of mastery. In general, in the MCC course I've listened to, and I've listened to a chunk of this, like when you're in the process of preparing, I know maybe you've looked for places, where can I get a recording of masterful level coaching? I want to know what it sounds like, what it looks like. So a trademark, there are some signs, there are some things that you will find in most of the recordings that have passed MCC level exam. So in today's live, we will talk about what are these elements and how you can go about to check your own recording to find those key elements. What are those elements? How do you do that? What's even the process? Because even up till now, there's some people who say it's kind of nebulous. I felt bad when I got that message because I thought we are like 2 weeks and then the series will end. We are in week 10 of our series, Activating the Masterful Coach in You. So hearing someone saying, actually, Judy, can you share back the process again? It was like, oh my God, I thought you were already doing this. It's fine. It's okay. We'll share the steps again today. And hopefully by the end, before we say bye-bye and see you next time, not only you know exactly the steps from that coaching session to transcribing, recording, analyzing, and the key things you need to look for, to listen for in your recording. Because as you know by now, evidence is your assessment. It's all about evidence. How much evidence do you have demonstrating that this or that other core competency? So let's dive right in. Stop talking, Judith. And yeah, I forgot to apologize. This was planned for 1 p.m. I couldn't make it at 1 between technology and other commitments. So I'm sorry, but I'm glad to be able to still do it today. As I like to say, progress, not perfection. We may plan things, but there are other, like if you don't have connection, there's no way I can go live. Even if I can go live on my phone, I don't have Restream. So I apologize for the lateness, but the replay, this is the live, the information is here, and I hope it is useful and helps you grow in your ability to evaluate your own recording. So what makes it important to assess your recording? Well, it's important, I think, It's important to be able to do that yourself, because to apply, you need to you can lean on your mentor, but even the mentor will say, provide me the recording, and for them to give you the feedback. And in general, I think, like, if you can do your own work before putting it in front of the eyes of a pro, why not? It's like, for example, if you're writing a book, before sending your book to a professional editor to do some editing yourself, not only you make the work cleaner, but you do some level of editing that will reduce the final cost. And I'm talking it like a metaphor, but for real, because um if you cannot identify by yourself, do some evaluation, and there's a lot to do. It may take longer, it may cost more. I don't know how you work with your mentor, but if you are charged for each session, you'll be, and you need a lot of session, you'll be costly. And that's why I am so much for encouraging you to find a peer, find someone else who is also working towards their MCC. That's a golden support you have, because their own eyes can help you see the things you do well and things that need improvement even before you bring it to the mentor. In general, like, mentoring is so some kind of package, maybe for 3 months, and there's a number of sessions. If you need more than that, because at the end of that package, if your recordings are not ready, it'll be extra. But imagine that you do the work, you've listened to the frameworks, the things that have been shared in the life, and then you have what we are sharing today, some key things to look in the recording. You can look at it yourself. You have an idea. You can ask your peer to look at it. And after the feedback of these one or two peers, what you agree on, only then you can submit to your mentor. I think you'll be cheaper and you'll be better. Um, and also, what makes learning from your recording good? Actually, in the program mentor coaching wagon that I do, there's an aspect of learning who you are. The recording says so much about you. And if you take the time to listen, what do I see? How am I showing up here? What qualities of being are showing as I listen to this recording? You will learn so much about you. That may be another topic for another session. Here, we want you to grow your ability to evaluate your recording against the levels of skills required by ICF for MCC credential. So it's important, and I'll fire you up right away by asking, hey, how are you demonstrating MCC level in your coaching now? Like, how do you know? Yeah, I may hear you answer, Judy. That's why we are in this call. But yeah, according to you, what are the things that confirm that you are operating at that level, that you are coaching at that level? I want you to reflect on that. Take some time and reflect. How are you demonstrating those skills now? And if it's still a blank, write it down and just reflect on that. Because if you just do the normal things that you do, well, what makes you say that's good enough for MCC level? What makes you think that's enough? I just want you to reflect. Some people to whom I've asked the question will say things like, well, I think I demonstrate MCC level with the contract. The MCC level is the contract. The contract, yeah, if I have a good contract, clear topic, outcome, ways to measure progress, well, I'm good. Maybe. Some other people will say MCC level is presence, ensuring there's space, there's silence, and present and there for the client. Yes, definitely. The presence is an essential thing. I don't know any recording that passed MCC that didn't get the presence right. But does that mean what you're looking in your recording is presence, silence? Not sure about that. Some people will say, oh, MCC is partnership. They want to see that the coaching session is client led. It's the client, the topic, it's the client that chooses, it's the client. Sure thing, it's such a sure, it's important. And if you can demonstrate partnership right at the beginning, that would be excellent. But will they pass your recording if they see the partnership, no clear contract, and coaching the solution? Not sure. So another thing, has the client, the thinker, learned something about themselves? Is there something new that they didn't know at the beginning? Sometimes we don't stop to think about that. Some people just, okay, question, answer, question, answer. And sometimes you can end up with what I like to call a heated food. So like they came with some food, say rice, and at the end of the session we have rice maybe with a little color, a hot rice, or with a little color of stew on it. It's the same thing. MCC level coaching, you want to evoking awareness, something new, and a little tweak here, something new about themselves. Because another very huge thing we'll be talking about MCC, it's all about the human, the person. Um, and that's why some people would say MCC coaching is coaching the human, who brings the strategy question, the tactic, or the whatever. MCC coaching is coaching the human patterns, the human beliefs, the human assumptions, the human thinking, the human fears, the human emotions. So that deep dive into who is this thinker being, what are they thinking, what assumptions they're making, what is their identity as they take this posture. It's a lot of that. So at the end of the day, what are you doing to demonstrate mastery? It's a mix of all of that. I like to say, depending on who you fall on, if your evaluation falls on the hand of someone who is big on contract, and you start full wonderful contract at the beginning where all the key elements are there, there's great chance that they'll have a bias towards, okay, this is a good call. um but why not take the risk of, okay, I will put all my eggs in the basket of the contract, in the basket of partnership, in the basket of presence? How about putting all of that to put you in a safe place, so that no matter what evaluator takes your recording, they will find all the juicy thing in there. The focus on the human, which is really big, it's really important. Coach the human, not the solution, not the problem, not what is going on, not the situation, the human pattern. Coach the human, create space and silence, the presence. Let them lead and be the container, ensuring you have a clear contract that you can check. That at any time, I don't know, listening, anyone that comes in and listen to the recording can say, what was this call about? The call was about, this was the intention of the person. So in today's session, we'll take a deep dive and go in detail with on each of the item discussed. I don't know why I'm forgetting my words. Am I getting tired? Do I need more coffee? It's too late for coffee. So let's dive right in on how you do that. Um, I propose a framework. Um, this is Judith. It's not like a kind of ICF recommendation thing. Yeah, so by the end, you will know kind of some key markers that the evaluator uses to assess your session, um, how to track that in your recording, and a step by step method for you to do your own self assessment. So, um, this is all introduction. How should you listen and go about analyzing your recording for MCC level skills? Uh, The way I suggest you do that, these are some elements. These are some elements. I don't want to say these are the elements, but these are some elements that are what I call signs of mastery. Um, in a recording where you have a clear contract, we want check for the contract, check for the presence, check for partnership, check for evoking awareness, and check that you actually coach the human. There was a last parameter that I don't know why it's not showing. I don't know how it disappeared between PowerPoint and putting it into Restream, or maybe my slides were not well designed. All is well, Gigi, you focus on progress, not perfection. So these are, I told you, like 5 elements that I suggest you look into your recording. Maybe I'll disappear for you to screen capture. Well, my head is not stopping you from seeing the key elements. So if we start first with the contract, um, what is the contract? We took the time. I think that was week 3 or 4 or 5. Go and check the recording. I don't have each of them because I know we talked about ethics and then coaching mindset before talking about the agreement. So maybe week 4 or week 5. Um, in the playlist, the contract is, as you listen to the recording, is there a clear intention? Is the intention of the thinker, of the leader, the person you're leading into coaching, is it clear what they are after? And it is so essential that you get this. It's good. Um, I had the opportunity to talk with an evaluator who was saying things like, well, if I listen to a recording and like 20 minutes in 2 days on a 30 minutes call, the contract is not established, I stop listening. I'm like, what? That's being rude, is what I said at that time. Isn't that being too rude? And they were like, Judy, this is not ACC evaluation. If it's a coach that is starting and we can find a topic and some level of format structure is good enough, but you come when you apply for MCC is the highest level. It's not for nothing that ICF requests like more than 2,000 hours, 2,500 actually hours of coaching. So you've done this. And really, Judy, do you think it wise to pass someone when you listen to the call, you don't know exactly what the call was about, what was the outcome? And I still found it too rigorous, but it makes sense. Like this is the highest level. Um, so what's the value if like the topic, what they were after, is not clear? And if what they were after is not clear, how do you establish throughout the conversation that they're getting what they need out of the conversation? So listen, think about your recording. If you pick your recording, if you listen to your recording, is it clear what the client, what the leader, what the thinker wanted? Not only the topic, because sometimes when people hear the contract, okay, the topic, what's the topic of today? Topic is one thing, outcome is another thing, what they want to walk away from it. And where are they with that outcome today? Um, and ways to track the progress throughout. This is a big one, MCC level. Sometimes in the training, okay, we know we need to know the goal, or the growth framework. The goal is there. Okay, quickly the topic, and then you start rolling with the conversation. But how do you come and track the progress? How much progress? A well-defined contract at the beginning will make this easy. And I want to add another level. We say MCC is coaching the human. How about ensuring that the topic, the clients, how about asking questions or holding the space so that the topic is a transformational one? I read this on another forum and I had the chance to discuss it with other people preparing for their MCC. That one way for them to quickly evaluate us talking, to know this will be a good MCC call or not a so good MCC call, if the coach just runs with the first thing that the client says. What does that mean? What's the topic? What have you brought for us to explore? The client says it, and the coach start to coach on that thing. In general, clients will come with surface level things, strategy, tactics, a solution, tips on. That's the surface thing that they come with. MCC level coach, he doesn't take that first level thing depth, which is one thing you hear everywhere. You're learning, studying about MCC depth. So when you hear the topic or what the client wants to talk about, what's your strategy to go into that depth? What is behind the tips, the strategy, what they want, what makes that important? And we said MCC, you're coaching the human. So a human who comes to the session and says, I want to, my team is not in power. I want to get great at delegation. The topic is delegation. Um, but what is going on behind the delegation? What makes that important? What makes that important for that leader now? What is their thinking about what they need to delegate more? What assumptions? What's their belief? Have you noticed that assumptions question thinking of the leader? So these are questions that can help you get into the human, coaching the human. Um, so, bringing it back to your recording, when you listen to your recording, one question to check yourself: do you run with the first thing that the client or the thinker said, or did you take the time to dig deeper? What makes that important? What meaning, what value do they give to that? Value, importance, meaning is the human. It's not the solution. Because as they start to talk about the value, the importance, the meaning, it's them. It's them. And you want to coach the human, which is a big thing, a big sign. If you listen to your recording and most of your questions are around the human, the patterns, the assumptions, the meaning, the emotions, good job. You're on a good way. Keep it going. Keep doing that. That's what one way that shows mastery. So that's for number one, the contract. And another quick thing I want to say before moving away from the contract aspect: in general, when you listen to calls, people would talk about the contract. They'll do the contract somewhere at the beginning and come back about the contract around the end. A masterful coach, we say, like, he's not into a structure. So he flawlessly integrates contract questions. Well, getting clear on what he gives the mic, he gives the floor to the thinker. What I want, how will I know where I am now? How are you feeling that in your body? And what are some things? The contract is well done, the outcome and the way to track the progress is there. And somewhere within the conversation, as he creates the space and the person starts to get insights, discovers things about themselves, and the masterful coach knows how to transform, help them build system actions out of that. Hey, he can also use one of this moment. Okay, how far? With the goal you had for the session, how much progress did that bring? You see, he doesn't wait for the end to check how did we do. No, throughout the conversation, that sign of mastery. He's not having the structural contract, the beginning contract at the end. No, at any time, if there's something that can allow them to go and check the progress on the contract, they take it, and they just, it's natural. It's just like, okay, it's a natural question that comes here. And it provides so much value. So your ability to track the progress against the established contract is another sign of mastery. Jade, move. You have four other things to talk about. Besides the contract, another thing, yes, but we will talk about that. Maybe I'll talk about partnership now. Another thing with the contract, who created that contract? Who was the person who chose the topic? Who was the person who chose the outcome? Who decided on ways to track progress? Was it co-created, or maybe, a lot of us coaches, we tend, oh, I asked the client, but sometimes we infuse things. We say, oh, or we bring a question that has nothing to do with what the client was saying. We are not responding. We are bringing our stuff. It's subtle, but it's still directive coaching. So partnership, it's a big thing that demonstrate mastery, where it's together. Partnership, same level. The coach is not here and the thinker, leader here. No. Sometimes I even tend to say the client is here and the coach is here. Yeah, Judy's like, you're putting him behind. Yeah, sort of. Because when you look at ICF competencies, they say the coach respond, the coach respond. For you to respond, someone says something and then you respond. The person who says the thing is the client. You are in a responsive position. That's what I say. Like, you're sort of behind, you're following the client. So when they say something, when they suggest, when they're thinking, it's for you to the space. We'll talk some more about presence in couple minutes. As a coach, like this, you're not here. You're not the one. Okay, from what I hear, I see you can. Oh, you're being directive. Okay, who decides the topic? Who decides the agenda? Who decides that we change? Who decides that we make some movement? Who decides? Ideally, it shouldn't be you, else your coaching will be too directive. That's why we're saying co together. So if you feel, give them the space, the floor. It's their time. Let them think, let them explore and come up with things. Oh wow. And help them, when you find some what I call golden nuggets. It's like you're going for a walk. They say they want to go to a place, and in the process, in the way they say, they process, they explore. Oh, so this is what is going. They just found what I call golden nugget. It's excellent. And when they find that thing, the best thing you can offer them, zip, quiet, allow them to go, to go, to go. Okay, do they want to do something? Do they want to build a system? How is that golden thing they found on the way of exploration helping them with that contract? Contributes growth. Oh, it's actually it. So now that you've made that link, how do you want to move from here? Any action? You don't have to wait till the end. And have you noticed, like, the person is just like next to them? Oh, what makes that important? It's actually the insights I'm getting. What's that bringing up for you? What impact on you, on your life, on your whole community? So what's coming up? How do you want to transform it? Do you want to build a system? It's them, like, and you don't ask all these questions as I'm saying, the one after the other. No, when they're talking, see presence, silence. It's so golden because when we zip and just allow them to be, they talk and they talk, and a lot of things come up. And that's why another key thing will be talk about that is a sign of mastery is that silent zip and allow them to process. So, one key thing is partnership. When you look at your recording, some key questions for you: who set the agenda? Who decides on when to move forward? Who set the action items? In as much as possible, we want to see that it is client. The client choose, the client decided. And even if you want to ask permission, because sometimes coaches say, oh, so do you mean masterful coaching is then to just um get into the coaching session and then help them find establish the contract, and then you just stay silent till the end? It's not the point. You're with them. And when you feel like they've processed this, How can you help them keep moving? But you don't take back the mic. Maybe I need to illustrate the difference here. They talk, they process. Oh, actually, it's not the thing about changing companies. Like, it's how I see myself. Whoa, golden nugget, we have something here. Zip, you allow them to talk. Then I've been changing for the last 3 years when actually the problem was me. Zip. Now I wonder how things could be different. And if you allow they talk and then at some point they say, yeah, it's what is coming up for me. Hmm. Even more space again. And then, okay, so what insight is emerging? How are you feeling now? You still want to get them to talk about what is going on with them. What do they want to do with those insights, with that discovery that maybe is how they see themselves? And you allow space. When they talk to the point that I think it's everything I had, you can offer something that will allow them to keep the processing. It's not for you to take back the mic and, okay, so what do you think you want to do? And give a certain direction. So, what system do you want to create? In general, those questions they are kind of long. It's complicated, not simple, powerful question. We say masterful coaching is all about. So, when you are in this place where silence seems to have done all the processing, give it back. Sometimes, what do you think? How do you want to take it from here? And then you silence again. Don't take back the mic. Sometimes, some things you will see. Okay, with this that emerge. I think you've taken back the mic, you've taken the ball. Let them lead. Let them lead. So offer something that still keeps them owners of the ball, owners of the direction they want to go, owners of where to go next. And if when you discuss the agenda, like you remember the Stoker's framework I shared, when they told you, I think the way to get there to achieve what I want, maybe we should talk about this, think about that. And there's this silence, and they tell you, okay, that's all they had. And you ask question, what learning, what insights, what action item, way forward, you can go back, ask permission. Is this a good time? What do you think? Will this be a good place to take the next thing on the agenda they gave you? That's also the value of establishing the contract. It's not you choosing the next direction. At the beginning of the call, they told you, I want to go to this place, and to go there, I think we should talk about maybe how I see myself, the way I handle the team, the blah, blah, blah. These are like agenda topic or the various elements. So when they feel they've said, they've capitalized, they've made the action plan, ask them again. You don't tell them, let's go. That's directive. Where do you want to go next? Oh, not sure. Is this a good time to take one of those? They may say yes or no, I think I wanna. And that's why a masterful coach is not attached to what he suggests. No, 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 no. And that's why here, same level. You can offer things. No, it's not what is going on. Be comforted. You're okay with that because you know you don't know. They are the expert of themselves, of the situation. This moment, it's all about them, helping them understanding how they function, what they want, what they care about. So why would you feel offended if, oh, something that came up for me, can I share? Ask permission. Sometimes people say, oh, so you cannot share. You can. If something comes up, a word is coming up from me, you ask the permission. May I share? May I give an observation? Yeah. And a quick remark here. Because sometimes when people say you can share an observation is good, but if all the coaching session is you giving observation, may not work well for you. It's like you just want to push things on the client. We want you to create a space for there to come up. Make observation, but do not make the whole coaching session about making share an insight. offer something, it has to come more from them, from the client. Silence and space is the way to go. The more you want to talk, you want to push, you want to give, you want to offer, the more it's like coming from you to them. It's not them realizing. I don't know if you see the difference. So you can offer, ask permission. And if they say, oh, yeah, and then you offer, and then is that what is going on? You don't say it like it's the truth. I'm the expert and you're here. I'm seeing what I'm noticing is going on here is A, B, C. Well, add something at the end, and that's where the posture makes the difference, because you're offering from a place, I may be wrong, I'm not sure, there's this word, there's this thing coming up, what do you think? The masterful coach is detached, and if the client says, I'm not sure, it's not exactly it, you don't feel offended and you don't come back with that again. But sometimes in coaching sessions you will see when a coach has offered something, the client diverted, but the coach brings it back. It's like, the coach, I think I know what is going on. If you do that in your recording, not good. Not good. You're showing that you're attached to the outcome. The masterful coach is not attached. He offers, he lets it go. That's the partnership thing that we want to see. And you, ideally, we want to see the partnership not just at the beginning for the contract, but throughout the session. That's why I like personally to say partnership is kind of the mindset thing. When you come into that coaching session, seeing yourself as a partner, we do this together, and I'm not more, and I'm not more. It's that's your posture. So even if something come, you share and then you let them run with it. I prefer even like feel, make them the expert, make them shine. They are the one that have insights into what they want, how they feel, how they want to move in front. So even if there should be a power, it should be more the client and you, the coach, you're here. But not this, not this. And when you are in this posture, you cannot say, I think you're, I suggest, I think, who you think, it's not for you to think. They know them, they know what they want, where they're going to. You may suggest something and let them decide. Partnership. And now I feel like look at you in the eyes and ask you, when you listen to your recording, do you see that partnership? Please be honest with you. Be honest with you. And if you see directive coaching, point it out and acknowledge it. Because we hear this thing about partnership, but when we listen, sometimes we don't want to admit it. And I'm going to talk to you watching this. If a peer coach has asked you for feedback, please don't tell them what they want to hear. Be authentic with your feedback. If it's directive, tell them it's directive. Don't just say what they want to hear. It's not helping. It's not helping because the pattern is there. In full honesty, with a lot of love and empathy, but give the real thing. And that's how they will check. They will check themselves. I'm insisting on this because there's a lot of directive coaching in a lot of transcript, a lot. And I think that's also why ICF is doing a lot to really insist on this thing about partnership, the mindset of the coach, the posture. Well, it's normal. A lot of coaches also come from the consulting, management consulting world. So, but look at your recording. Is it more partnership or directive? If you have directive coaching, there's great chance you might be in trouble, because masterful coach, they co-create. They don't do directive coaching. And I know, because like I could be the queen. I told you many times how I thought, oh, I need to save this conversation. We are so far in the I need to. Doesn't he see this? Problem solving is my thing. But masterful coaching is not about Judith, it's not about you showing your strength. It's a place for the client to shine, because there's so much power when they come up, they reflect, they explore, and they come up with things, and you just place that mirror in front of them. Have you noticed all this thing that you did? Yeah, they noticed it came from them. Wow, that's empowering. They see they are brilliant. And it's not this coach who have this wonderful insights. No, the coach created a space and allowed them to process, to think, and they came up with a lot of wonderful ideas. So check your coaching, and if you find things like, when I listen to mine, I will see a lot of things. For example, the agenda. Well, at the beginning, I will ensure the topic and then the outcome. Okay, how we'll measure the progress. And after, okay, do we start with, why should I suggest with? Let them choose. What do we start with? You may say, is it not the same? No, it's not the same. If I ask you, what do you want to start with? I let you choose. If I say, how about we start with this? I've suggested something. It's directive coaching. And throughout the coaching, we talk, we discuss, oh, I hear this. You also say this, and I add something that I think would be good. That's direct. It's subtle. It is very subtle, but it's still directive coaching. Allow the client, and if you want to offer something, ask them, and please wait for them to say yes. In a lot of recordings, I did that. I tell you all the things I did, so that you will not do them, please. Yeah, I was in training. My mentor said, Judith, ask question. It's not that you shouldn't. Ask permission to the client. Hey, may I offer something? And before they have said yes, yeah, imagine they've not yet said yes. So it's like, I still think I have this brilliant idea, I have this brilliant solution you better hear about. No, it's still me trying to show my brilliance. It's not my space. I'm there to hold a space for the client. So check little things like that. Um, because masterful coaching is partnership same level, not one up and the other down. Another key thing to listen for in your recording is how much, um I think I talked about space. Maybe I'll do a quick, I'll talk a bit again. This is really trademark a big one. um the pace of the recording. You can see that the masterful coach trusts the client, they trust the process, they trust that whatever needs to emerge will emerge. And the rush, you felt it when I was talking. Yeah, and I want all this push and pressure for what? Because I want to push, I want to say things, I want to be. No, they are brilliant. Taking break, that space will allow the client to process, to think. When it's like question answer, it doesn't allow them to go deep in the reflection. Oh, that's where they go and can come up with wonderful nuggets which we were talking about. So one trademark of masterful coaching is the space and the silence. um I'm not saying that if you're kind of a slow talker, a reserved person, that means mastery. It's like the conversation is airy. There's no rush. There's no, okay, what next now? Take your time. Think, I'm here. And it's so beautiful when you listen to those calls. And that comes from the place as you coach. Do you really trust your client? When you really trust the process and you know that what needs to emerge will emerge, just see the calm and the zen with which you will approach the recording. It's different than when you start a recording and it's like you have to prove, you have to demonstrate. All these things that I share, that I was like, okay, 20 minutes in a test, I need to see if this, da, da, da. No, I don't trust the client. I don't trust the process. I'm coming from a place, it's not a place of trust. It's just like when you start the day, there's a lot. Before the end of the day, I need to get this done. I have a lot going on. It's easy to get overwhelmed, to rush. And maybe if you don't pay attention, you can get into an accident. But when you know that, okay, the key, the essential that needs to be happen, that need to happen before the end of the day, it will happen. I will give my best, and the essential, the core will be done. Do you see that? Okay, whatever. It's there's some kind of let go, which also comes with trust, which and that calm, from that place of calm, a lot emerge. As you coach, you enter into the session with okay, whatever needs to emerge will emerge. And I even feel that. You've seen me in these live sessions where I come, oh my God, there's a lot of, I'm late. Oh, time has passed. I've not done half of the content, blah, blah, blah. And I'll mumble, I'll lose my words, I'll make a lot of errors. Why? Because there's not a sense of peace, of trust that the essential, no matter, even if I don't finish the content, the essential that will be shared would be valuable. But as soon as you embrace, and it has happened many times in this life where, oh, I'm late, or this is not working, and then stop, Judy, take a deep breath. Even if you share two key points, the two key points will just saying it, do you feel the calm? I'm feeling the calm. So when you come into the session, like what needs to happen will emerge. I trust this client. Calm. And you're calm, you can offer calm to the client. Because you're calm, they can be calm. Observe, listen to your recording. Do you see that calm? And if you don't see that calm, this one I want to invite you to reflect on you about the coach you are. What do you see in the way you show up? For me, I saw a coach who wanted to perform. I saw a coach who wanted to, they need to see that Judith is good. They need to get value. They need Judith, Judith, Judith. It's not about Judith. It's a moment for the client. A moment for the client to shine, a moment for the client to just stop and think and observe who they are being, how it aligns with their ideal, what emotions, what fears, what deep beliefs are going on, and choose what they want to do with it. Is there any Judith in there? No, Judith is just hold a space. Wow, okay, seeing this, saw this, what's the meaning? Because this is, I saw this, notice this, what comes up, and these little questions that cause them to see who they are being. And that's why the last point I want to talk about are your questions centered around the person. Because in this place where you don't talk much, you create space for them to think. Are your question, the things you choose to pick, to highlight, to bring to their attention, are there stuff around the problem, the situation, the tactics, the strategy, or the questions around the human? Listen to your recordings. And if you notice that most of your questions are about the human, thinking strategy, wanting to change, reflecting on the team, good job. Keep doing that because masterful coaching is coaching the human, coaching the person. And at the end of the, when you listen to that conversation, has there been some insights on the human being you had the conversation with? Is there something new that they know about themselves that they didn't know at the beginning? good if you have that and a lot of time codes, which is evidence. I like to say evidence is your evaluation. Are there a lot of places where you ask a question or you reflected something and they discovered the pattern, some things about their identity, their beliefs, their assumptions, what matters to them, the value, the meaning, the interpretation? These are so good questions, because from that place of identity of the human, you ask questions that allow the human to look into who they are being and to reflect, is this who I want to be? For this specific strategy, organization, team, or whatever they came up with, am I being the person I want to be? If no, who is that ideal person? And what actions, what ways of doing can bring me back to be aligned to that ideal? And that's why there's such a link between coaching, staying at that human level. Because when they see, when they sense, when they understand, when they have that vision, when exploration brings them to a place where, oh no, actually, this is not, then they craft themselves the action item. Sometimes you don't even have to tell them. No, space and silence will do the work, because they explore. I gave the example of this person, like, who's been changing jobs for the last couple years, moving here. Oh, the culture is toxic here, the manager, the this is this, and they kept moving. And they realized in a masterful coaching session that it's more about how they see themselves. Oh, wow. So I've been carrying the team, the family around, moving when was not a matter with the leader or the organization, but how I perceive myself. Who do I actually want to be? Oh, good place to be. Good question. And they explore and they explore. Yeah, the real me is a happy person. The real me is someone who really likes excellence. The real me is someone who likes to create excellence in a funny, in a place, in an environment where people like to work. And that's not what I'm creating with my team now. That's not what I'm having. Something is happening. They are realizing something. And the best gift you can give, zip. Because as they keep processing, wow, um, maybe, oh, some ideas are coming. Sip again. Just allow them to process. Silence. And sometimes they'll come up with, okay, I think what I can do, action item. You didn't have to ask them, do you have to build what you want to create? Silence is so powerful to create that. So I'm being told that I have 5 minutes to be out of this studio. So these are the key things I offer. Contract, ensure that there's a clear contract outcome, ways to measure progress, and as much as possible help the client frame the contract around the human goal. Presence, space, silence to allow the client to process. Ensuring throughout the conversation, and I insist all of this is throughout, not just at some point, in as much as possible. See and show that partnership right from the beginning conversation. Do you evoke awareness when you listen to your recording? Are there things that the client knows that they didn't know about at the beginning? I'll make a little thing in 1 minute quick about that point, which is you don't have to wait to the end to ask. Um, to ask. This is such a powerful question in general when it comes up. um, when it comes up in the coaching conversation, I notice that clients, they come up, it causes them to think. Maybe they've been talking about other things, but what are you learning? What is it teaching you about you? Hmm. Oh, yeah, maybe. It's good. And you don't have to wait till the end to ask that. And as they learn, okay, I can be this, I have this, maybe I prefer this, you're getting them to reflect and think about who they are or who they want to be. It's easy again for them to say, okay, I'm learning this. Okay, maybe I would do this. They're crafting their own action items. You don't have to wait. Masterful coach infuse this kind of questions about learning throughout the conversation. It's not like there's no structure that, okay, they're asking this at the end. If you can do that, good as well. Should it get out of here? So concrete action items. Yeah, someone said they didn't see this slide when I shared it in week 2, where we talked about the process. So they hadn't started doing the recording. Essentially, steps: ask your client or the people you'll be recording with, ask the permission before, because in terms of ethics, it's important that they know that they are recorded and that their recording might be used for mentoring and supervisory purposes. So ask their consent, transcribe. You see what I was saying a couple minutes ago. Now that I know I have like 2 minutes, it's going in all direction. I'm not being and giving my best. So these are the steps: consent, record, transcribe, listen. And as you listen, I'm offering again these questions. We talked about them. Maybe that will be the last thing I'll say, and then we will close. When you listen to that recording, is there evidence and enough evidence? By enough evidence, you don't have to demonstrate partnership with just one time code. Are there many places throughout the recording where they see that partnership, where you ask the permission, where you follow the client, where you ask them where they want to go next? Evidence, time code, partnership, presence, clear outcome, and the exploration. I added this last one because it's really, this is when we're saying coaching the human. It's the last thing. Exploring the beliefs. They come with a question, a strategy, a tip, something they want to create a change. What's the human? What's that person believing about the situation? What are they assuming about the situation? What's their values around that strategic thing? What are their emotions around the change? That last sentence, it's key, because as you ask that question, these are questions that open the door to talk about the human, the person. Oh, I believe it's kind of a challenging thing to be okay. It's their belief, the thing is challenging. What if it was not challenging for you? You're bringing it about them. uh, what value do they have? How does that change align with their value? I value, they're talking about themselves. What emotions surround that change? Actually, is frustration or fear. Yay, we are deep into the core of the matter, the human. So I offer this question. You can screen capture and use them. Listen to your recording, check this, and look for evidence. By now, you know evidence is your evaluation. So if you have just one time code demonstrating the core things, not enough. Hey, I will go, and before going, next week we will do this in practice. For next call, you will receive audio transcription and a worksheet like this for you to listen and access using the same framework we share. I suggest if you can do that before the call and then you come to the call, because I want next call to really be another live opportunity to do this together. My invitation for you to do that before the call is to be able to sort of align. Did we see the same thing? Did we pick the same thing? But definitely next call, week 11, the one before the last, will be all about um, doing this live. I hope it was useful. Let us know what you think, and if you like this format better, let us know. We want to activate the super coach in you. We want you in 2024 to bring out that masterful coach in you. And any question, remark, feedback that can help, give it us, give it to us, don't spare us. And if there's anything we can do to help you in your journey, let us know. Until next time, take care and be the masterful coach you want to be. Bye.